I'm sorry. You got.
We're live.
Robo's not here, so I gotta say butts. There we go.
That's true.
Booties, booty butt cheeks.
Welcome to
Game time now. It's game time. The hat has been thrown.
Welcome to Ampistrano. Hi everybody. I am your storyteller, D&D Jordan Lee, joined by this absolutely phenomenal cast. A very special thank you first off to our sponsors and affiliations: 1985 Games, Found Familiar, Tabletop Loot, Friday Afternoon Tea. Make sure to use D&D Jordan Lee and AmpistranoDND when you check out for a percentage off your purchase, and it does help to support the cast. Also, massive thank you to Idol Champions for the code below. You can also redeem it in chat by typing in !idol, and that will give you some information. First and foremost, we have a Dimples and Dice here. Hello!
Hi.
All kinds of chaos. It's gonna be a fun time. Super excited that Dimples agreed to join on in. So actually, Dimples, why don't we start with you? Why don't you just introduce yourself? Don't introduce your character just yet. We will get to that, but why don't you tell the audience at home who you are, what you do, and just the wonderfulness that you are. And I will mentally prepare myself for what I imagine you're about to do. So
Hello, everyone. I am Prince, also known as Dimples and Dice around the internet. I play games, GM, win awards, and I get to do awesome shit. I use the word moist prolifically, and I'm going to play a very fun and wholesome character for once in my life, potentially, until this group corrupts my character, and then we'll see what happens after that. But find me around the internet as Dimples and Dice everywhere. All the socials. That's all I got. See, it wasn't that bad, Jordan.
that's true. Thank you so much, Dimples. We're going to move over to Sin. Sin, also say any announcements you may have as well.
Okay. Hi, my name is Moist Ziek, your resident sunflower person, who you can find here on Twitter and in your various games and APs doing things, and also on most socials as Sinziak, except here, where I'm Moist Ziek today. Today I will be playing your favorite lovable existential crisis carrying robot Moist Stone. Who is from the They But He Is Fine Empire.
Thank you so much, Sin, for that. And last but certainly not least, and again, the true owner of this channel, I am just here, Fair.
Hi, I'm Fair. I can't think of a damp version of that, so it's just gonna have to stay the way it is.
Not Dampadora.
It's Dampadora Moist Sun, actually. Thank you so much. Is who I'm playing today. Your resident Battle Master Fighter. Our pronouns are she, her.
Amazing. That's gonna be a great session, y'all.
I'm sure it'll be just
everybody-
fine. It will be magical.
Everybody, every time Jordan cringes, remind her that she did this shit to herself, and she knew exactly what she was doing when she invited Dimples on. So this is your own fault.
I have been the same. This is not new.
Love
Also,
you.
I'm a he him. Just because I didn't add that.
No, I appreciate that. And you're right, I did know exactly what I was getting into. So, yay. But joking aside, I am very happy that Dimples is here. It's going to be a wild and fun ride. As you can see, we are missing our lovable little druid Robo. Unfortunately, there's some storms that are happening.
They're outside currently practicing the Call Lightning spell
That's
as we
true.
speak as part of their druid training. They're actually in a druid circle right now.
That's true. Yep. Man, Sam, we were supposed to keep that, locked behind the Patreon wall, Giving
That's
away
what
all the
Welder-
secrets.
It's pretty obvious, though.
Currently locked behind the Patreon wall is probably Weldor.
That's true. But hopefully we will have our lovable Robo back. But we have a couple quick announcements before we dive into the episode itself. First off, you will see next week we're going to have quite a bit of new things to show you. We're going to be hopefully having a new logo as well as a new intro with Dimples's character and info done by the amazing Thirst Trap Moth Wes. So we will have that done, as well as, again, we'll have our lovable Robo done back here as well. My brain is going a mile a minute, y'all. It's fine. So first off, please consider supporting creators, actual plays, and more by considering subscribing to our YouTube, Patreon, follow us and others on all social medias. It seriously does help a lot. If you go and back our Patreon, because we are currently 2 patrons away from our all familiar one shot. Listen, you're going to want that. As well as you'll get some Q&As with both Duval, Fair, April's. I'm about to finish editing Sins, and then it'll be Dimples and Robo in the hot seat as well to talk about their characters, the game, and stuff outside the game too. So consider going and checking that out. Also, go and check out our TikTok. The amazing Perpetual Noob has been hard at work wrangling a lot of the clips that you all have been clipping into some absolutely phenomenal TikToks and YouTube shorts. So make sure to go check that out. And hey, if you're also watching this on YouTube, make sure to drop a subscribe, like, and comment. It's free, and seriously, it does help us out. We are currently working towards YouTube partner with that. And before we properly get into the game itself, want to say a very special thank you to Sphinx, Seven, Mama Strange, Fluffy Snowfall, Chris Gideon, Buzz Lightyear, Lily42, and Goblin Katie for your support on Patreon. We appreciate you. All right, y'all, and without further ado, I think it's time we dive into our episode. This will be fine. No worries. So, when last we left our adventurers, the group had been resting and recuperating in Felk. Deciding it would be best to split up and explore, Tobi, with Weldor's assistance, was led to the Druid training grounds. During that time, Weldor said a fond farewell to Tobi, stating that he needs to stay with Felk and Vibran, wanting to better assist from afar. Meanwhile, Blackstone and Deodora headed to Rory's rundown shop with a single wrecked automaton named Ada, who kept watch over the shop. They were unable to say where Rory was, but noted that Blackstone had administrative privileges. With Weldor soon joining the group, they discovered some secrets in regards to Felk's defensive systems, as well as the blueprints of Blackstone, what they were before, what they are now, and the paths ahead in terms of upgrades. A letter was also found, seemingly left behind, which Blackstone absorbed. Weldor gave Deodora and Blackstone some parting gifts and brought everyone to Geegan's Glade, where those that had been infected by the soul illness and experimentations were given the Bone Weaver thread tea, infused with her own essence, and they began the journey to recovery. Weldor made sure that Deodora got her beef stew as late afternoon settles around the glade, and that is where we pick up. At this point, it's about 5 in the evening, as the sky overhead is slowly turning from bright blue, speckled with white clouds slowly hovering on the journey eastward, to reds, oranges, and purples as the sun is pulled towards the horizon. There's a crisp breeze moving through the area as well, sending a small chill up your spines. You find yourself still in Geegan's Glade, with the injured now sleeping. The large willow surrounded by the pond has a slight glow of white and yellow, as from the leaves it looks like small fireflies coming alive, instead small orbs floating to give a little light around the sanctuary. Geegan can be found moving amongst the cots, checking on those that have been injured with what remains of the stew. Keeps in a small pot on the stove, steam and that rich, savory aroma being carried by the wind, as we now find Deodora and Blackstone. What do you do?
I look for Weldor. Where's Weldor at the moment?
Weldor at the moment you can see is kind of just slowly walking around the pond, seemingly kind of on the path out of here, heading back towards the main area of Felk.
I take a moment, just kind of having seen him and Gigan doing their thing, and go, I guess I should probably go and do a similar thing. This is me thinking, they're out here fixing things. Maybe I should be somewhere fixing things.
Where are you gonna go?
Well, there is one automaton that maybe, I think it should be about this time of the evening. If we hurry, we might be able to catch them.
Okay.
DM, I want to see if I can find the automaton that I got the flyer from for Aurea.
Okay. Why don't you roll an investigation check or perception? I'll let you choose.
Okay. That is a 19 on perception.
Okay. And are you checking around this glade, or are you heading back towards Felk to get a look that way?
I'm heading back towards Felk because that is the last place I saw them.
Sure. So with a 19, it's a little bit difficult and unsure of the route that this automaton is taking. It didn't seem like they were on a designated kind of path, kind of like a tram moving around the park, kind of informing people of things, so to speak. You can hear something maybe in the distance, but it's a little bit difficult to tell.
I'm gonna do something I haven't gotten to do, or that I haven't done in a while. I'm going to use Find Familiar.
Okay.
And I would like to summon an owl to look for them.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
How pissed off is Corbin about this?
Deodora, you see the kind of scarf around Blackstone's kind of neck kind of ruffle, and you see for a moment a small tail kind of peeking out and doing that like irritated thing that dogs and cats do when they're really annoyed, and just kind of slapping Blackstone's back as this owl comes into frame, not looking very happy about what's happening at all, as this kind of golden flecked tawny owl. It's not large, it's almost like the size of a like a little bit smaller than a football for comparison, kind of floats in the air in front of Blackstone, little specks of gold and purple kind of coming off of it as this spell has taken effect.
Corbin, I already told you about this. It is not actually an owl, and even if it were, I'm not going to let it eat.
You just feel like this smack in your back, and not even needing to roll, you know he just hit you with a fan. He is not happy. It doesn't matter. It's just its natural instincts of this is a predator that normally would eat me.
If you keep doing that, I'm summoning a cat next time.
Huh. Is all you hear in response. But the owl is floating in front of you.
Okay. I kind of send the owl off into the air to give me like a look around.
Okay. It starts floating up in the air. You see after a moment, after it rises to a certain point, it can't go above the tree line. Again, these trees are massive and kind of, for the most part, are kind of blanketing this entire kind of ceiling, so to speak, of this outside area. You see that it gets to a certain point and then it just kind of hovers, not able to go any higher past the trees, which based upon I'm going to have with that 19, based upon the information that you learned earlier in the day about some of Felk's measures to keep defense, this is probably some kind of barrier, a physical one, to kind of make sure that people aren't spying, so to speak. But you see it soaring through the tree line as it's starting to look around.
You know, Theodore, I guess the best way to say it is, I think the hunt is on.
I think so too. I want to have Sparky, because do we all meet this automaton, or like we all sort of saw this automaton? I guess I was asleep. Did Sparky see the automaton?
It was just Blackstone, because Blackstone was on the streets kind of looking for it, and that's when the one kind of gave the info. You and Oria were having your moment back at the hearth. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I even still, I think I will have Sparky sort of, sniff around trying to catch the scent of like some kind of mechanical creature, or like gears, oil maybe.
Okay. Why don't you roll? And yes, you have advantage.
Well, it's Sparky. Sparky has advantage for smell.
I know. That's why I was like, roll with advantage.
Except I don't. I need to look up Sparky stats.
Don't, a little spark.
That's a 17.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I misread. That's a 22.
Yes, that's okay.
Proficiency.
You see Sparky smelling around for a couple of moments, kind of like nose directly to the forest floor and the rustling of leaves occurring, and then all of a sudden just going into kind of a pointer position, like one paw raised, and is just kind of straightening themselves out as much as possible, pointing in the direction of going to the right when you're coming out of the glade.
Okay, I will follow in that direction, but have Sparky still be like leading us.
Yep, he's
towards the smell.
Winding through, and Blackstone, I'm assuming you're also following.
I am.
Okay.
Although I will say, how I would like to follow is, are there climbable buildings?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a second. This is going to be a fun time. Probably not. That's a 13 on acrobatics.
Okay. You get on the first tree, no problem. It's the distance from one tree to another that is kind of catching you off guard a little bit. The trees are a little bit more spread out than they were, say, in Illipin or in Jorix, where you can't just kind of parkour from one to the other with ease. You're having to use a lot of your leg strength to push over. So you are able to do so, but you're barely hanging on, kind of thing. Theodora, you're just hearing this clanking. It's almost like someone's like just botting against like metal is hitting a tree every so often. So you're being accompanied by noises as this is happening. You are getting a few looks.
Quietly from above, I'm okay.
I didn't doubt that you would be, but also, we're gonna have to work on you being quieter during hunts.
I suppose that's fair, but I don't know if I need to be especially stealthy for this.
Not for this one, perhaps, but in the future.
Noted. I will practice being quiet. Well, after this.
Yes.
And after probably about 10 minutes, you do find yourself in another square. It's off, seemingly on the complete opposite side from where the hearth was. It's in the kind of northeast corner of Felk. There's a small square with several houses that are set up around it, and you do see an automaton. You also see another humanoid there. As Prince, why don't you tell us what your character looks like?
So you see a tall Triton man. He is dressed as if he is a naval captain. and a long coat. Obviously, sea style boots, webbed fingers, tealish colored skin with greenish colored hair, like a curly fro that just kind of like droops down. He looks older, definitely seasoned by years. And he has a small frog like creature sitting on his shoulder, and is talking to the frog pretty adamantly about things that are going on, what he's feeling, yada, 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 about this trip. And the frog creature is a green grung with little black spots on them, wearing a necklace of woven like reeds with shells on it, and a plain like robe. It does not look distinct in any way.
And you see this individual is having a conversation seemingly with their little familiar. And at this moment, you can see the automaton almost is kind of stuck. There seems to be some kind of either traction or something is in its gears that it's having a hard time kind of moving. So you're seeing, similar to what Ada was doing earlier when you met at Rory's, is kind of doing that buckling of moving their head up and down, and you can see sparks kind of moving back and forth as it's trying to get past, but unable to do so. Prince, you are also you're directly in front of it. You're kind of watching this automaton that's on one wheel and kind of just struggling. It's got like a small, it has pamphlets in its kind of outstretched metal hands. It looks wrecked. This thing looks like it has been forgotten. Kind of like metal lost in the woods. There's moss and you can see parts of it have kind of been worn away with time. As this thing is struggling, as you also now hear some clanking from the trees, as well as some heavy kind of footprints, or footprints in general, rather, kind of moving in your direction. As you see, how about Fair and Sin, why don't you describe your characters to Prince? My head's doing too many things.
Theodore, by all means, feel free to go first.
Okay, yeah. As I poised to eat my food. All right. Theodora Shadesun is a dark-skinned woman, like 5'4", 5'3" in height. So like short, but like very like muscular. Like you could tell she's very athletic. She has her hair in dreads with a shaved side on the right, and a septum piercing. She has dark eyes, I think. I can't remember. This has been so long since I've had to describe her. I'm like, what?
She does.
Her eyes are like, but they like a little gold, I think. Yeah. With like there's like a golden ring around them, I believe. And yeah, she just like she's young, youngish. She's not wearing any armor at the moment. She's just sort of wearing plain like traveling clothes, and some comfortable boots. And next to her is a miniature blink dog who is sitting very like a good boy and panting like he did a good job.
Excellent.
From the first, you see an owl land on the papers that the automaton in front of you is carrying, and following the clanking noise, falling in a trajectory like aimed toward that automaton is a figure that's in a mask with some markings on it, seemingly in a deep red color, who is wrapped in a brown scarf that covers their head and bits of their neck, a little bit of dark hair. at least from what you can tell from here, peeks out from under this kind of hood and head wrap thing that they have going on. There is a cape that billows in the wind behind them, and they are wearing a coat. They are wearing a plain pair of pants and a simple pair of boots. Most of this is just, I have no idea who this person is or why. They're just covered up in all the things. There's a little bit of what appears to be armor where their chest is, and like a little satchel that they are wearing. It's kind of flailing in the wind just a little bit as they descend.
Cool. Jordan.
Thank you. You find yourselves around this automaton, kind of all looking around a little bit confused as everybody else is kind of peeled away for happy hour, for dinner, for the end of the day kind of rituals. So you can see Blackstone compared to yesterday. This thing is not even vocalizing announcements. It seems like it's almost completely shut down and has kind of broken down in the middle of the road. And you're in an area that is not heavily populated compared to the main throngs of Felk.
So when I land, kind of like, and I'm upright, just for Dimple's notes, like behind the mask are a pair of glowing cobalt blue eyes.
And I see your character, right?
Yeah, like I'm not making any effort to be like not visible, so it's kind of like
So I look over at the frog on my shoulder and I go, Gribble, I got this. Let me do the talking.
Sorry, what is the frog's name?
Cribble.
Cribble? Okay.
I look at the automaton and just go, well, we can't have this, so, and I start like, I think for mending, and I think this is just going to be fun, instead of it just looking like magic that like goes into the robot, you see like a small like kind of holographic diagram appear up that looks like this robot trying to determine what needs to be fixed, and then that's where the magic goes from to do things like fix bits of the wheel or other parts that I see that have rusted with time and stuff like that as I start slowly repairing bits of the robot.
And you see the magic starting to take metal that had been kind of rusted and darkened with age and just being left to the elements, coming together a bit. Eventually you do have, at least to your knowledge, a semi-completed automaton in front of you. But the lights that had been flickering in its eyes have not returned. Seems to have mended everything, but that spark seems to be missing.
I'm going to do a thing, and you can tell me whether or not this works. First thing, if I reach out to it telepathically, do I get a sense that the telepathy has something to latch onto?
You reach out, expanding your mind into that waiting room. There's a pause. And then it's like you're hitting a brick wall. It's different though from when you've been able to do this and you've been magically blocked. From there, you can always sense some kind of energy kind of pushing against that interference. This, it's a complete lack of it.
Okay.
You can push into its head, but it doesn't seem like it's receptive. It's not a bright white waiting room. Instead, it's darkened. Not in a black, but in a gray.
So I guess it's one of those. Is this, like, from what I can sense, is this happening because this creature isn't an automaton in the way that I am, or just because of some other thing that I haven't discovered yet?
Why don't you roll an investigation check?
Hey.
And because Theodora's there, I will give you advantage.
Hey.
Because this is you hunting for answers, so...
My character is staying a distance
Yep,
away. I'm
you're-
watching.
You're just
this.
watching this kind of happen.
Yeah.
It was a few steps forward at first, then saw the magic happening, was like, all right. Unless this is pointed at me, but you do notice that there's now a trident in my character's hand. This is not aggressively, but just ready.
Yeah. I think Theodora is like, while she is helping Blackstone with like searching, this automaton is trying to figure out the answers, she is keeping an eye on this like sea captain in the corner of her eye. Mostly not because of the trident, but mostly because we are in the middle of a forest. Why is there a dude in like full sea garb here? Like the closest water is like a swamp and you're not fitting a huge boat. So it's like she's very like, it's like curious, not suspicious, but just curious. Like this is a little.
You look closer at him too. You do notice he's wearing like armor under the coat. Like
I think the coat catches her eye because it's like that is probably like out of all the weird shit, might be the weirdest shit so far. Just a random sea captain in the middle of a forest. So.
Theodora would also notice like Blackstone rattling off details about what's happening here and hasn't like given any thought to the person who's standing here, except to like vaguely be aware that they exist. Kind of like you might have to take this one to the shop. There seems to be something going on here. Well, the mending side, which seems to be fine structurally, I'm not sure about its more internal processes, state of its consciousness. You might need to take this one to the shop, I think. Also, that investigation was a 21.
With a 21, you can tell that there's two things happening here. One, this does not seem... It has the same kind of artist signature on it. To kind of compare it, for instance, that blacksmiths have a signature with how they design blades, how they sharpen them, the leveling and just the design of materials that they use. Rory designed this, but it was not designed in the same way that you were. The components used are largely metallic, less stone-based, and whereas you seem to be running on an almost boundless energy, this seems to have kind of reached the end of its potential, at least for right now. Whether that can be recharged or it's just simple repairs, that's harder to tell. But it doesn't seem to be exactly like what you have been made to be.
I have a question.
Sure.
Just remembering what we found at the workshop earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get the sense that this automaton is sort of one of Rory's experimental creations before he like perfected the design? So this is like, because I remember there was one that was like all stone, and then there was another one that was like all metal.
Yes.
And now we have Blackstone, which is like a mixture of the two.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. In his early designs, to kind of take it back, because I know it's been a week, first he tried it with metal, then it was metal and wood, which this design that you're looking at is largely metallic, and there's elements of wood in there, although even with the mending, it's kind of rotted away. So this is probably, I'll give you this just based upon that information, probably made about like 5 or 10 years before Blackstone was created in terms of the physical form.
Which, remind me, I'm not sure, does Blackstone even know how old they are?
It's hard to tell.
Well, actually, like, I don't know that you've asked, although I would say now at this point, I think Blackstone would, because the library exists.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Because I think, like, and that was me asking out of character, because I couldn't remember. Because just thinking about, like, if this automaton was built 5 to 10 years before Blackstone, then even it still being able to function at this point is impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But this is me speculating.
No, it's good.
So
there was a lot of lore that was dropped last episode, so I have no problem going over that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, but Theodore doesn't know how old, or doesn't even like have any vague sense of how old Blackstone actually is, because it's never been brought up, I don't think, in discussion. Okay. So, well, yeah, I think if you want to take it back to the workshop, we can do that, and then you can take a better look at it.
Perhaps. Jordan, I'm going to try to use telepathy to reach it, but I think instead of it being like kind of a room in which a conversation happens in, this one, because it's, I think, we'll explain why I do these things later at some point, or you could just watch that Patreon interview. This one is going to take the course, or take the form of a computer terminal. So when the automaton speaks back to me, it's just going to read as green text on a black screen.
Okay. I was really hoping you were going to say it's going to take the form of a Jiffy Lube.
Why?
Why? I just thought that was the first question. Why?
No, wait, we're just...
I just love the image that, like, we're on that scene in Baldur's Gate where we're really just thinking about our choices here for options. Okay. So what is it that you're trying to accomplish, Blackstone?
So, like, the first line of text from me in telepathy would just appear on the screen. What is your name? And then there would be, like, an enter line and then a flashing prompt.
Okay.
Or, like, a flashing cursor waiting for the response.
No response.
Do you know where Rory's shop is? Enter.
No response.
I type the command, turn in a circle to see what happens.
You hear your words, whether you say them or you type them, kind of echoing through the kind of link you've created. And it echoes into oblivion. There's no response.
This one must have been made well before my time.
All right, I don't mean to interrupt, but
I was gonna say, here's what I was gonna say. I was like, suddenly, like, we were just talking, and then it's like just Blackstone staring into like the eyes of this automaton, not saying anything, and Theodore standing there awkwardly. And I was just gonna say, like, that must be so baffling.
Well,
it was standing there for a while, just
for this person who's probably very baffled by this, my eyes are no longer blue; they are like purple or some shade of purple.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you're using magic, your eyes are changing weird colors, there's nothing about you that's visible to the human eye except for the fact that your eyes are a weird color. What the hell is happening? I'm here for it.
And so you just hear the captain go, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm not sure exactly what these constructs are doing and how they're interfacing. And I don't know if I'm walking in on a private moment or not. And I'll just keep moving if something is...
Oh. No? We just... Blackstone wanted to find this automaton to see if they could repair it.
Oh, right. So I suppose some introductions are in order. Hello, my name is Blackstone. Also, my understanding is that a number of automatons throughout the town are in need of repairs, and so I came to look for this one. This is my friend Theodora.
Hi.
Greetings. I'm Captain Draven Tyborn, and this is my friend Cribble. Hello.
Oh my god, I love Cribble already. I love them.
Well,
already.
well met to the both of you. My apologies for the inconvenience. I was somewhat focused on the task at the moment. Also, what brings you here of all places?
Well, I wanted to meet a druid to understand a little bit how their magic works, and the captain said we could take some shore leave. And, well, I'm not sure if you're druids or not, but...
Oh. No, but our friend Tobi is. And he's at the Druid training ground. Sorry, I almost called it something else. I almost called it the Druid Grove. That's not too much Baldur's Gate. I've been watching.
That's where we were supposed to be going.
Yeah. Well, our friend
right.
Tobi is a druid, and he's over there.
Actually, hold on for one moment, and I go through the papers that the automaton's holding and go and just hand you a flyer that has the location of the Druid training grounds on it.
And the flyer says that it's recently reopened due to some misadventures and maintenance that was needing to occur. Apparently, some shenanigans may have happened at the Druid grounds, so they had to close it down for a couple days. It's recently been reopened.
So I'll be completely honest with you all. I am excellent at navigating the seas. But when it comes to being on land, it's not exactly my area of expertise.
Oh, but it's mine.
Are you lost?
I wouldn't say lost. I would say more of, I don't know exactly where I am, but I know where I should be going. Probably.
How long have you been here in Velk?
And Cripple goes, 14 days? We were supposed to get here in 3.
I think in her head, she's not going to ask this because she doesn't know a tactful way to ask, but she's thinking about just that, the promise of the Guardians of Felk, and wondering, I guess, how they got into Felk. But also it's just that's none of her business, but also just, it's just a curiosity. Well,
this one is very amusing.
Yes, it is. Yes, they are.
We should help them.
Oh, yes, I was going to. And then she'll say out loud, well, I'm pretty good at navigating the land, so I can take you there. We're gonna go pick up our friend Tobi anyway.
You do that for us.
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
Well, I've been traveling for quite a bit of my life, and, well, not everyone is that kind. So, my first mind goes, hey, this is probably a trap, Captain. You don't know what you're walking into. They may string you up and take you for your trident and whatever you're holding. And the other part of me is maybe they're genuinely nice people, and you should follow them. And so, I'm going to ride with the hopefully you're nice people, and I'll travel with you.
Well, if it helps, if we intend to do you violence, we will be very direct about it.
Yeah, you didn't seem all that quiet.
Oh, I can be, but I am definitely not today.
Well, I guess we can only really prove ourselves by doing what we said we'll do. I don't have any reason to harm you. I'd only harm you if you gave me a reason.
I think we should trust him, Captain.
Also, please do not give her a reason. She is very good at doing damage to things.
To be fair, so am I.
Processing. Theodora, is this a situation in which we assess that claim and then try to determine how accurate it is?
I mean, I think Theodore says, I mean, we could if we want to. I actually do have an ability called Know Thy Enemy where I could spend a minute out of combat assessing somebody and determine certain things about them.
Perhaps this should be one of the things that we do while maybe in the middle of one of your morning practices.
Maybe, or maybe something at the training grounds will show us.
Well, with their consent, of course. As I did promise them that if we intended a violence, even facetiously, we should probably tell them first.
I think we'll be fine in that. I don't have any. Again, we don't have any reason to attack. And I love the idea of Draven just watching as we go silent yet again and just stare at each other as we talk telepathically.
Surprisingly, this doesn't seem all that strange to him because you just see him start talking to Cribble back and forth. Yes. There's like a little whisper, like, I think they're doing something.
Y'all are
weird.
being those people like whispering in front of each other.
Oh, wait.
Talking about us with each other.
Yeah.
This might warrant a bit of explanation. However, this is also one of my many functions. And so occasionally, I use this to share my thoughts with people in a more silent form. My apologies for the inconvenience.
And then Blackstone puts the hold music on.
No, like Draven heard that whole thing just.
Yeah, no, I know. And then you put the hold music on for Draven as you come back to Theodore.
And then he whispers over to Cribble. I was wrong.
Right. Well, before we take you to the Druid Grove, would you mind if I take this one to a shop? They are very much in need of repairs, and probably more than I'm able to do with what is available to me out here.
Oops. Oh, of course.
Oh, also, this will give me time to do a science.
I think as soon as Blackstone says that, Theodora will like gently take Draven and pull them to the side, just a little bit further away. Because the last time Blackstone did science, he was flung across the fucking room several times.
Ada.
Yes, that is my name.
I believe I might have a repair project for you.
Repair project?
And I am here for the purring, for one thing.
Oh my god, and the cones, so cute.
It's Cribble.
That's official. That's Cribble.
Yeah, that's Cribble.
I send Ada a telepathic image of like the automaton that I'm talking to with a stack of paper.
Oh. Okay. We'll come and retrieve automaton.
Oh wait, you have the capability to leave the shop and retrieve things?
Correct.
Oh, well, that is unspeakably useful. Thank you.
You are welcome, I believe is the phrase.
So pleasant, that one to talk to. Right. Well, it turns out that we may not have to take this one to the shop because Ada will come and pick them up.
Oh, that's useful.
If you don't mind my asking, who's Ada?
My newly discovered assistant.
Fair enough.
They're another automaton at a lab that we found.
So I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen a lot of you, pointing at Blackstone.
Well, to be fair, I am covered in many articles of clothing.
Yeah. So forgive me a bit if I stare. You are very interesting. That's all.
Oh, I believe that is normally a positive thing. Well, unless you're evil or you live in Jorix. Are you either one of those things?
I look over at Cribble. Am I evil? One of those things? Do you think I'm evil? No? Okay. No, not evil. And I don't know anything about living in Jorix.
You would.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
You did right. If you think you are familiar with Jorix, Jorix is the. It's been a minute, and I know there's been a lot going on. Jorix is the capital.
I don't know anything about my hometown.
Jorix is the capital. It's where actually a lot of the Navy stuff is kind of based.
Oh, got it. Yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, but it's been a long time. You've been traveling and
I am
processing a lot of things all at once.
No, not from there.
Okay, wonderful. Well then, I suppose that leaves us with a trip to the Druid training area.
So what exactly do they learn at this Druid training area?
Oh, I have no idea. We've only been here for like 2 days.
Okay.
Right.
Well, see, Cribble, they don't know either.
My best guess is that they are doing science, but with nature-based magic.
I think maybe it's where druids go to practice their, herbology and stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
Learn how
Well,
to
I have
forage.
shipped herbs before, so sure.
You know what would be kind of nice is if we get to go there and they teach people how to fly. Or how to command lightning.
I would like to do one and not the other.
You see Cribble's eye raise when she said command lightning. That could be useful, Cap. Very useful.
Tobi knows how to do that already.
I know, it is fascinating. It's also a lot of fun, too. Well, I suppose this is more so true for me than it would be for other life forms. Being struck by lightning is very interesting.
I will take your word for it and hope that it never happens to me.
You see Cribble and Draven look at each other like, nah.
Yeah.
It is all over their faces. Lightning destroys ships, just so you know, and being a captain with lightning that hits ships is a bad time for everyone.
Oh, well, I do have the ability to repair things made by natural means.
Oh. That could be very useful. Have you ever thought about being what's the right word for it? One of those people who repair ships.
Carpenter?
No, that's not the right word.
A shipwright, perhaps.
A shipwright. That's the word I was looking for.
I think as this conversation's happening, Theodora is pulling out ahead of everyone to go to the training grounds. She's like, she doesn't even know, actually know where they are, but she's following Tobi's scent.
Yep. For sure.
I'm sure
Sparky helping.
Sparky is probably helping you.
Yep.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is- well, I have considered it, but it seems that being a shipwright is, well, a considerable amount of effort. Although, the idea did appeal to me for a time.
The Dad Daddy has a whole crew.
The
You'd
what?
fit right in.
Hold on, time out. The what?
Wait, I thought your name was Draven.
My name is Draven, but my ship. This is my first mate, Cribble. Our ship is called the Dad Daddy.
Oh,
I love the look on Jordan's face right now. I love
your-
Jordan.
Is your ship a sentient creature?
No,
But it has a name.
yes,
Yes.
It's pretty common to name vehicles like boats.
it is indeed. It is considered bad luck to not have a name for your ship. It's also considered bad luck to not bring a cat on your ship either, but that's another story entirely.
And we'll say as Captain Draven perhaps telling some interesting tales as you all head to the Druid training grounds. We are going to take break early because apparently we have a Druid who is available. So
Oh, but can I say real quick,
Yeah.
as Draven is talking about, like, you know, it's bad luck to not name a ship, it's bad luck to have a cat. Theodora's in her head's like, boats have a lot of fucking rules. I'm glad I've never been on one.
You see, for like a brief moment, well, I think Theodora would have noticed this. There's like a significant, like, there's like for Theodora, a noticeable pause between words when Blackstone talks about nautical things.
Like a hesitation, as in they don't really understand or have knowledge of it.
Like a more of a that thing that Blackstone does when they take pauses between words as they are either pondering or remembering things.
Oh. Okay, I'm excited.
and we'll find out more when we come back. We're gonna take about 10 minutes, y'all. Like I said, I know it's early, but we have a druid who is literally at like messaging me like, hurry up. So we will be back in a few minutes with Robo and see what the heck Tobi's been getting up to, you know. And stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.
Pick up your gear and open your chests. Throw on your armor and head out on a quest. Hey, hey. It's a brand new day. All this will ghost, your allies will help with blades and bows and magic as well. Hey, hey. Heroes on their way. Fighting together against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, get your wallet there. Idle champions, you will say it again. Idle champions.
Easy to.
I'm bored.
We can go scream at the cat for another hour.
Nah, I'm tired of screaming at the cat.
Shut up with that! Be bored no more with 1985 Games. Enjoy their vast variety of products and help bring your tabletop to a whole new level. With easy-to-use dungeon sticky notes. The deck of stories holds prompts and adventure hooks for any setting, and thousands of cutout game pieces with their dungeon craft.
You've come all this way for nothing, fool! The princess is mine! You'll never get away with this, Balakor!
Write everything down in your Hero Notes journal and start your adventure today! Visit the World Wide Web address 1985games.com and find many helpful products such as their Dungeon Craft series, battle maps, deck of stories, miniatures, dungeon notes, and now VHS dice. Again, that's 1985games.com.
I am going to use my move action to calmly walk right out of the door of the house and into the street.
Okay, he's blocking the door frame, so.
Oh, that's fine. Let's just have this moment since they're talking. And we were like, excuse me, I'd like to step outside, please.
Roll persuasion? Like,
oh my god, amazing.
What is happening?
Yeah.
Persuasion, you said?
Yeah.
That is a 19 on persuasion.
Could you elaborate more with Theodora and Oria's relationship, as the bond they share is definitely a special one? This also actually came in from our Patreon, wanting to know a bit more. And I know we've chatted, there's been some teasing about some things, but spill.
I don't know if I can elaborate without April being on the call, because it's very much her character as well as mine. I will say, just out of character, it's mostly because April and I enjoy playing together, and we're like, let's just be friends. Because it's like, let's just not even beat around the bush now. We're not doing no introduction things. We know each other are fucking ready. And it just sort of made sense at the time. I think we thought about doing it because there were
Booty butt cheeks.
Butt.
Mm-hmm.
Ass.
Slap them cheeks.
Lordy be. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We have RoboGoblin! Yay! So excited. So thank you so much. Hope you were able to get up, stretch, get some water, because hydration is important. And we're going to get right on back into this episode. So if you're just joining us, Theodora and Blackstone have headed out from Geegan's Glade and went looking for the automaton that had been kind of heralding the news throughout Felk about different things that were happening over the course of the next couple of days. At that point, they did find it and came upon it kind of destroyed, not in the means of being in pieces, but just not running anymore, seemingly offline. And at the time, just met a newcomer, a Captain Draven Tideborn, and their little buddy named Cribble, who also seemed to be looking for the Druid training grounds as well as a Druid, to find out some more about magic in general. Some conversations were had, as well as Ada was summoned to come and assist in retrieving this automaton. And the group headed off to, in the general direction, following Tobi's scent, to the to the Druid training grounds. God damn it, Robo. I just love the chaos you cause, whether you're here or not. It's always chaotic fun, and I'm here for it, Robo.
I think that's all fair.
Yeah. We're going to take it a little bit back, and you walked with Weldor, if you recall, kind of assisting you to get to the actual training grounds itself, because it's in a very deep, kind of sequestered area to the back of Falk from where you entered. The hearth is more so like in the middle. At this point, probably about a 30 to 40 minute walk from where you're currently at. You stepped through the path and found yourself just outside of an archway. There's this kind of rock formation of stones. For a moment, it looked like branches, like the roots of a tree, kind of giving a small little reprieve from the sun. But instead, you see that it's stone. And kind of interwoven into the stone itself is pieces of wood that you can see are carved into intricate designs. You see leaves. You see, of course, the face of an owlbear present every so often. You see the elements themselves as they are characterized as water or fire, light, darkness. All of that is kind of in the borderline of the stone, interwoven with the wood, which is changing from a very dark wood to almost the white kind of trees that you've seen in storybooks or have heard from your mother telling you about in some of the adventures that have been kind of laid within your own glade back near Illipin. You see before you 3 humanoids. You see 2 kind of female in presentation. One is wearing has blonde hair that's kind of half up, half down, braided, bright green blue eyes, almost cerulean in kind of the look. Wearing robes of red. She seems to be half elven in features, with the tips of her God damn it, dimples. Sorry, just saw your message.
You focus on you.
I know,
You
I just
focus
saw
on you.
the thing and it just ADHD'd, okay? You see them kind of staring with a small smile on their kind of lips. They seem to be holding a quarterstaff completely made out of wood. It looks like a redwood tree and some kind of almost like water that's constantly moving, and you can kind of see it almost looks like a waterfall in their staff as they're kind of holding it. You see next to them, shorter in appearance, looking dwarven, with black hair that's in these really thick kind of braids to the side, and kind of with an expression of just utter boredom at this moment. I'm gonna hide chat because I keep getting distracted because ADHD me is struggling right now. So now I'm only looking at Robo. It's great. I love you all so much. So you see them kind of looking bored off to the side, and then in the middle you seen he appears to be giant, or has half giant blood within them, grayed skin. You see black markings decorating their shoulders and their forearms, wearing black leather pants, very chiseled, very buff, is currently kind of has a very buttoned down white shirt that is, you can see dirtied. You can see paw prints are on it. Seemingly he had been training with a few folks as well. And behind them, you just see what appears to be nothingness. In terms of like no other buildings, there's a large tree trunk, massive compared to the ones that you've seen. This one, in comparison to the other trees and buildings of Felk, looks like it is like the equivalent of 3 or 4 of these trees pulled together and then someone chopped off the top half of it. So it's just this large trunk, and you can see in the very back there's a large black door. They kind of regard you, just kind of watching you. They're watching you approach as you and Vanita are kind of looking around curiously. What do you do?
Hello?
Well, hey there. And this is the blonde one speaking up at this point, kind of has moved the quarterstaff and is kind of just trying to give you a happier kind of expression of welcoming. You are looking a bit lost. You okay?
I'm always lost. Am I in the Druid grounds by any chance?
You are. Well, you're about to be if you keep going this way.
Oh, okay. Are you Druids by any chance too?
Yes. My name is Liara, and I'm one of the keepers of the grounds. This is, and she gestures to the dwarf, Meryl. And then our stud over here is Fila.
Hello. Hi. Hi.
And they all kind of give you a little gesture of hello. Yeah, we're the druids that kind of keep watch of everything here, but the grounds are open to all as long as everyone's respectful. We just try to maintain it, just that's why we call it the Druid Training Grounds, just, you know, make sure everybody's good to go, so to speak.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. My name is Tobi Montazul. I am from the Illipin Grave, and I am son of... I forgot my dad's name. What's my dad's name? Kiko Montazul and Lupina Montazul. Nice to meet you all.
It's good to meet you.
I'm sorry. This is my first time meeting other druids, and I don't know how to present myself.
Just be yourself. I think you're overthinking it, little one. And okay. she just kind of gives you like just this reassuring look, and for a moment, it's like an autumn breeze has kind of welcomed you. You immediately smell the scent of cinnamon and pumpkin and I'll leave it up to you whether that relaxes you or not, but there's tones of like in this scent that kind of wafts through the air of like home. Of not having to necessarily put on an air of knowing what's going on. You haven't even stepped onto the grounds, but already you can see similarities between this area as well as your own glade and training area back at home.
Are we back at home?
No, but I'm sure that, well, your ancestors may have taken some inspiration from here.
My ancestors?
Yeah.
Are you my ancestors?
No.
Oh.
I just mean that usually with Druid training grounds, a lot of the time Druids travel. There's a bunch all over the place, at least that we're aware of, and you kind of see them all sharing a look for a moment. You can always travel between them, and oftentimes, and our hope is what they learn there, they'll take back to their own areas to teach others. So it's very possible that, you know, one of your ancestors moved through here at some point.
Oh, okay. Is there any chance that I could meet them?
Your ancestor?
I mean, I'm just asking. I don't know if...
Well, there are parts of Ampistrano you could certainly go to and see if maybe they would be able to pass through the veil.
That's right. I could do that.
Yes. There's an area, I believe, a little to the north, known as the Valley. Only a few can enter at a time, but it's very dangerous, but you could potentially go there and see if anyone would be willing to speak with you there.
Okay. I would like that. Thank you.
That's certainly an option. But do you want to come in? And she kind of gestures properly through the archway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And you kind of feel yourself pushing through a magical barrier, immediately finding yourself on the opposite side of the archway, where you see this massive trunk. I hate y'all. Sorry. You see this massive trunk, but it seems like it's in this massive crater. You can see stone that's going up on either side about 200, 300 feet into the air. This area is massive. You're on now this stone kind of bridge leading forward towards that trunk. And through this area too, you see that there are tons of people in this area. You see a few are kind of either going into the trunk or just coming out of it. You see to the sides what appears to be some kind of tiefling warlock with their kind of looks almost like an ent, and you realize it's a small imp with kind of yellow and green flame kind of moving about it as they are kind of facing forward against some targets, seemingly practicing. You see what appears to be a ranger and her wolf, kind of dwarven features, kind of taking aim as you see these kind of almost looking like kind of crash test dummies, but they're made out of wood and straw, are kind of doing battle with the two of them. There are people everywhere. This is an area that people come to hone their skills.
Looks like a very nice place.
Well, we try to help where we can. Is there something specific you're looking for?
No. To be honest, this is my first time being in the presence of any other druids other than my dad. And I just wanted to know what there was, or if I just needed some guidance from druids.
Well, we can certainly assist you with that. How about this? Let's head towards the tree trunk and we can maybe get a better idea of what it is you might be looking for. I think the answer's nearby.
Okay, I'll follow you. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. This is Bolita, my owlbear.
And immediately you see Fila immediately just kind of drops their kind of like stoic muscle kind of act and just starts going, oh, like immediately starts fawning over your little owlbear cub. Just absolutely losing. But they're so adorable. Like, and you just see this kind of knowing look passing between Meryl and Liara of just like, oh my god, it's another familiar that they're ogling over. Like, this is seemingly a very common occurrence that happens. And they usher you back towards the tree trunk. And you see at this point this black looming door. For a moment it looked like it was a cut kind of into the tree itself. But you see it's this deep, rich, black mahogany door that's inlaid with stones. You see emeralds, you see opals, you see topaz, you see diamonds on this door. And interwoven into it, you can see what looks like autumn leaves and snowflakes are kind of on the door itself, kind of marking around the borders. Well, that is, well, the main training grounds. It was shut down a couple days ago just because, well, a couple individuals got in there and wreaked a little bit of havoc. So, you seem like you're a little bit unsure of yourself.
Very much so.
Why is that,
so,
if you don't mind me asking?
When I left my home, I felt like I was very confident in my skills, very confident in what I can do, and very comfortable in my connection with Bolita. But over the past days, weeks, it's been a little bit tougher. For a while there, I wasn't really in control of myself. And I just felt lost. But then again, I found strength again. And, well, we had a fight. Well, we had a couple of fights, but against two very bad people. And this was the first time that I ever felt that. I felt something inside of me that just wanted to destroy those two people. Well, not really the first one. The second one I really, really wanted to destroy it, as they killed one of my friends, one of my group members, Theodora. Probably like her. She's really nice. But they killed her, and the only thing that I wanted to do is I felt something, I don't know, like intense inside of me, like some flame. I don't know. It felt weird. And ever since then, I just kind of feel that thing inside of me. It's just dim. Am I making any sense?
You are.
But I just had that, and I just kind of feel different. I still feel myself, and I still feel my connection to Bolita, feel being as intense as always. But now there's this thing, and I don't know what that means.
If you don't mind me asking, what guides you?
what guides me?
Mm-hmm.
Usually is my friends. But before that, I just kind of went with the wind. Really didn't have something guiding me, or just didn't feel that something was guiding me. Am I
And
weird, Druid?
you're not weird. What's left you up to this point? You mentioned wind. Has the wind been pointing you in one direction and you've been feeling yourself going another?
Yeah, something like that.
And I'm assuming, and at this point it's Liara who's kind of taken over the conversation, as you see Meryl and Fila Fila's just like respectfully scratching the heck out of Bolita and just giving all the lovings. Meryl is kind of stepped away, seemingly going to check on how the rest of the trainings are going. At this time, you see Liara is kind of just regarding you, every now and then kind of squinting eyes just to kind of see you, or kind of, you get the vibe of trying to check your kind of nature. She's trying to pinpoint exactly what you might be struggling with. It's definitely not strange. I have to wonder if... Walk with me for a moment. And she kind of, like, ushers to lead you around the tree instead of taking you in through that door.
Go.
So, I have to wonder, and you can tell me if perhaps things are a little bit more different on the outside. You've been raised to believe that you can only be one thing. Or follow one thing, rather.
Yeah,
And
that feels about right.
And is that pressure from you, or is that pressure from family?
Family.
Why?
I feel like my dad has been, I guess he knows the land really well. And when I discovered that I had wild shape abilities, it all happened during the full moon. And apparently that's a different kind of energy that my dad harnesses. And he tried his best to teach me how to harness my own energy, but I just couldn't ever fully understand his energy.
Understood. And you mentioned a full moon, correct?
Yeah.
Well, what I can tell you, Toby, is you're not weird.
Okay.
I think you, like many, and at this point she kind of gestures towards the others that are kind of training in the area, have been kind of sold this story that when you set off on that road, you already know who you are. Or at least have more of an idea. But people change. They change through experiences, much like the seasons do. And I believe you are going through a season of sorts yourself, as you're coming to terms with your own magic. Your magical signature cannot be copied. And at this point, you kind of see, she focuses for a moment, and you see this kind of cerulean flame appearing in her hands that she just kind of holds for a moment. Sure, you can learn spells that others have learned. much like an artist paintbrushing their pieces with canvas. You are leaving your own signature with your magic that you wield. That cannot be conformed, copied. It's you. And I think it would be very foolish for you to think that you are tied to one specific thing. Sure, we have land druids, we have moon druids, we have sea druids. I'm sensing you're more of someone with more openness to change. You're what we would like to normally call an autumn druid.
Autumn Druid?
Autumn druid. They're ones that are not necessarily predisposed to one circle. You are one that change is marked not in the typical way of leaves forming all the time. You have a guardian with you. You have your magic and your spirit energy, which I can tell you are just starting to tap into. I think that's one of the reasons Weldor and Geekin at least alerted us that you and your friends might be coming into this area a little bit. It's one of the reasons we were rushing to make sure everything was ready. Not sure how long you might be staying.
You know Welder?
Yeah. He's never come in here. I don't know if he's terrified or what, but I've certainly seen him around the village itself, and I've had some of his tea. But it's perhaps if he had chosen a different path, he could have wound up here. We'll see. Do you think that if you were to be someone else, does that scare you?
Personally, no. But I am kind of afraid if I change, something else is going to happen to my friends or Belita.
Well, ripples will always happen. Unfortunately, and fortunately for a lot, we can't control how others will interact. But I think if you communicate and manage your own expectations about things, well, your friends strike me as accepting you for you. And as long as you are happy with who you are, what's the trouble?
Yeah. Wow, you're really wise.
Been doing this for a while, kid.
Oh.
She kind of just starts laughing a little bit. But you seem like you were trying to find your foundation, so to speak. That yes, you have your anchor, which is your friends, but perhaps you need something that will actually anchor you on your magical capabilities.
Mm-hmm. How do I find that anchor?
I think it finds you, truthfully. But I think you already know. I just don't know if you're necessarily opening yourself up to that truth just yet. See, why is it that your friends anchor you?
I feel like feel myself when I'm around them. Like I feel like I can do anything when I'm around them. That they accept me as I am, whoever I am, or end up choosing to be. I just feel more secure with them. Feel comfortable. I feel happy with them.
Well, and you see for a moment the flame she's holding slowly turns into a water droplet that she's holding in her hand. The base of what holds you, your foundation, is there. It's love, it's friendship, it's healing. And that goes through different seasons or stages. And you see as she's talking, the water droplet turns into an icicle of a snowflake kind of floating in her hand. I hate you, Dimples. Damn it. Kind of floating in her hand, and you kind of see it kind of spinning around each of her fingers as she's just kind of shaping the water around and turning into small snowflakes that float in the air. And then after a moment, it starts to change into almost looks like steam. And then back into a water droplet. It goes through these changes, but it's still water at the basis. You are going through these changes, but it is still you at the basis. And I think you might be one that's guided by fire.
Really?
Well, you mentioned healing and friendship and just coming across as a lot of heart. Now, fire is destructive in nature, but it can be healing as well. Think of those, whenever there's a wildfire, the soil, the trees, everything grows back stronger because of the new interactions that have occurred, because of the healing that's taking place. Just as you are not a stagnant being, your friends, from what I've heard, also bring a lot of energy. You balance that. You bring harmony to that. And through that, your journey has also shifted, perhaps reinvigorated by what they do. Theodora, your shield, your heart. Blackstone, your thoughtfulness. Aurea, your fun. And Weldor, perhaps more of your thoughtfulness, I'm not sure. But each one of them have impacted you in a way that, well, I feel like you already know the answer, that you are growing stronger from it.
Oh, I get it. So they were like kind of kindling my spirit.
Mm-hmm. That is one of the essences of spirit magic, which, again, I know you and your friends are hoping to maybe get a little bit more of a grasp on. That's what we're hoping to perhaps give you a little bit of assistance with. But who you are, you're the makeup of your experiences, the potentials, and the people that you hold close. That's who you are.
How do I know if this change is happening right now?
I think the fact that you're asking questions already means it is.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to produce flame.
Okay.
Does it look like the same energy that I always producing flame? Actually, do I have really flame?
How about, so Robo,
Hmm.
why don't you tell me?
Okay.
Take a moment. Think of this information that you've just been given and how Tobi might be feeling.
Mm-hmm.
When Tobi has cast Sacred Flame or any kind of light spell, because I know you've done that in the past previously too, to light others on their way, are you casting it any differently? Is your thought process any differently as you're casting?
I think that he started making his magic like before his produced flame was a simple flame that grew in his. It was just the owlbear that was dancing around in his hand as a produced flame. But now he feels a little bit more connected to himself, a little bit more. He knows himself a little bit more deeper. So he produces flame, and the owlbear is just a little bit bigger. And the flame is even more intense. And it gives a little bit more light. But it's teal, not the regular flame. He looks at it, the flame. I think it's happening now.
I think you have your answer. What do you do with that answer?
He just unproduces flame, and I don't know. Give me a moment.
Take your
And
time.
he just tries to pull away Bolita from big guy over there. Can I ask Bolita a question? If that's okay.
Sure. And you kind of see she's just sitting back for a moment, stops concentrating on the snowflakes and everything in her hand. And instead you see kind of conjuring a small, looks like a stone mug. And you kind of see her just sipping some tea and kind of like turning her back to give you some privacy. But still being nearby just in case you need anything. And she's just kind of watching the other trainees around the grounds.
Bolita, change is happening right now to me. All I need to know if it's okay with you if we go through this together.
You see the Bolita just kind of looking at you, and their expression hasn't changed. They look happy. They look content. And there's still that purpose that they're with you. You know that even without having to communicate telepathically or with them responding, much in the way of speak with animals, it's that bond that the two of you share. They're with you.
Anyway, I just pet them. Feel a little screamer. Thank you, Bolita. You've always been there for me. And I just turned to, was it Lazel? Not Lazel. I've been playing
That's
Baldur's
Baldur's
Gate.
I was saying, you got
Liara.
Baldur's Gate in the head. I had to jump in to hear it out, that one.
Liara.
Liara. That's
I was gonna say, man, we got a lot of
That's
Baldur's
Mass
Gate
Effect,
up in
though.
here.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
I'm waiting for her to show up. Y'all keep calling her name. You're gonna summon her like Candyman.
Mm-hmm.
And I just turn to Liara and just say, I know now, thanks to you, that this happens. And I'm always changing. And I think, no, I know. I accept this change now.
Well, and I think the other thing to keep in mind, you don't always need to have the answer to things. If you keep going with your anchor, so to speak, sometimes that's the answer in itself. So yes, Robo, and as the cast has been completely badgering me in the Zoom call, yes, Tobi has made the shift over into Wildfire Druid.
First of all, put some respect on my name because I guessed this weeks ago.
You did. You did. You did. I couldn't say anything because not everything was set in stone, and that is not my news to share. So.
Happy birthday to me.
Yay!
We love it!
So, this also introduces something unique to Ampistrano.
That motherfucker's on fire.
Bam, 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 bam.
Barbecues.
Flame on!
Barbecues.
Druids.
Listen, don't invite the Karen to the barbecue. I'm just saying.
Druids don't necessarily have to stay in one circle. If they decide that they wish to go to, you get the option at each level that you can change your circle. Much like nature, you do not have to stay stagnant into one thing. It is fluid, much like the druids are. So, that is something to keep in mind, Robo, as we continue playing Ampistrano.
Your boy got fired now.
That's right, we got some fire.
Okay, but more importantly, that owlbear got fired now.
Yup.
And I'm excited for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And we'll say for this time being, Tobi, is there anything specific you want to do, or else I'm going to kind of speed time up a little bit so that way the rest of the group is here.
We got the damn daddies and the fire friend.
I just turn to Belita and I start to pet them a little bit. And as I pass my hand over their head, it just leaves like a tiny wisp. And the tiny wisp starts floating around Belita again. It kind of looks like the fire that I did with my produce flame.
And that flame continues to grow. Very reminiscent to what you were seeing happen with Sparky earlier in the day. When you were checking in with them, you see that flame kind of gathering at the claws of Belita as they're walking. And you can see the flame is almost looking like tufts of feather and hair as they're walking. Not leaving like a smoking trail behind them as they're walking, but you get in that moment that more than just magic is linked here. This flame is an essence of your two spirits coming together. So with that, and you can make a note of this, once per long rest, Belita can heal with the flames that you store up each day. You can save up to 5 spirit points can be used either to attack an enemy or to create a shield. A fire shield.
Hell yeah.
This can happen once per long rest.
Oh, hell yeah.
So you'll just have to mark off it won't be like your permanent spirit point marker. It's just your daily, like instead of rolling, if you were to recoup some, you would just be storing them in that kind of bond. So it's a spirit bond. So you can use it to shield, or you can use it to attack if need be.
Hell yeah.
And we'll say the afternoon is had with Tobi doing some training, and we're going to speed up time a little bit now as early evening has now settled in, and Captain Draven, Deodora, and Blackstone, you find yourselves similarly just on the outskirts of a large archway, seeing for a moment an absolutely exhausted Tobi. Like, at this moment, Tobi, you're not low on hit points, but physically you look like you are. You look beaten to hell, kind of thing. You've been going through an afternoon of training. You're feeling, honestly, like Deodora was looking a couple days prior. It's one of those good trainings, though, as all three of you now find Tobi, who's kind of slightly being supported by an equally tired-looking owlbear.
Have you ever seen the photo that I uploaded to Twitter? Was just me looking at the screen, like dead on the floor. That's me. That's Tobi right now on the floor.
So we definitely walked past this place like 4 or 5 times. It was listen, I'm not trained on ground survival.
Just saying this so loud, just so loudly.
Oh, absolutely.
Theodora says nothing, but she will go over to Tobi and sort of, like, lean down a little bit to look at him like, are you okay?
Hey, Theodora. Yeah.
Hi. Need help?
A little bit. Spends his tiny hand
Yeah,
to get up.
Pick him up.
Well, I was just training with the Druids, and it's tough.
Yeah?
It is tough. But I found something about myself. It turns out that I can change. And now I am more connected to the flames. And Bolita is also connected to the flames. But Bolita, do the thing. And Bolita just explodes in like a flames all around it. It's like going Super Saiyan, but it's all flames around it.
Captain Typhoid is a druid.
It's a druid. I think Theodora sees these flames and looks like very impressed and proud of Tobi, but also will look at Tobi and say, "And you feel comfortable here with the flame?"
Yeah. After I killed Belsarian, I felt that thing burning inside of me. Who's this person, by the way? Hi.
Oh, this is Captain Draven Tideborn.
That's a very cool name.
And his
and his companion, Cribble.
Hi.
Hi, Cribble. My name is Tobi, and this is Bolita.
You're a druid.
I am. Are you?
No, but I am. I'm an abbot. I mean, I have priestly powers or whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm sorry, who are you? And I turn to the captain.
Captain Draven Tribon. This is my companion, Cribble. He is very excited to meet you.
I'm very excited to meet you too.
They've been looking for a druid. I'm not sure why.
Albert, you're in luck. There's a training ground right over there.
Oh,
I wanted to learn a little bit more about how Druid magic works.
Yeah,
And then we kind of got lost here. The captain got us pretty lost.
Tobi points at the campgrounds like, well, there's plenty of druids over there, and Theodora's like, you're also a druid.
Oh, that's right. I am also a druid.
I'm Captain. Have you considered perusing a library?
Perusing a library about what?
Magic, of course.
Oh, I don't study magic. I mean, innately I have some magical abilities, but it's not my thing.
So, you're not a druid?
No.
No.
I'm great with a sword, though. Or a trident.
That's a very cool trident.
I can speak to fishes with it.
What? And I turn to Theodora and I like him.
There's no fishes around here, though.
I can turn into fish.
Trying so hard not to make a comment.
But I can speak to you now, so I don't need you to turn into a fish so I can speak to you later. But if you were a fish, I could speak to you.
That's a very good point. I like that. Okay. So, yeah, I kind of am a druid, and we're...
Draven, don't even take off the Jordans.
If chat could see what our
Oh, God damn it.
But yeah, I can at least tell you what I know about being a druid.
Please, 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 please.
Well, it all started for me when I was a young and I started telling.
Okay, well, now it's time for me to take a step away and learn a little bit about what else is going on here. But you two, have fun.
Oh, would you like us to wait here until you return?
Me?
Oh.
Are you druids?
No.
Well, Captain, I am uncertain of how to answer your question. It has only been a few hours since I have learned. I am made for a lot more than I originally thought I was intended for. And so I suppose the most accurate answer is I could be.
Wait, what?
After this, Theodora says, he's not a druid.
Oh.
You look like you know how to fight. He looks at Theodora.
Oh, yes.
You spar?
Yes.
Let's do that.
Do they have like training weapons here?
So, Liara, who you all see, has kind of just been watching this very entertained exchange kind of occurring. She was making sure that Tobi got back to the group okay. Well, we don't necessarily have sparring weapons, but if you wanted to do a little bit of fighting, we can arrange that either between the two of you, or you could take on an enemy together. It's up to you.
Do you have chairs? Ignore me. Ignore that.
Are you
I think
tired?
you fully
Did you
took
have
Fair out. I think you fully
Farrah's
took-
bringing out
I
the
was
worst in
kidding. Just the sentimental music still playing in the background on top of
Yeah,
it.
you need to change it to the Black,
I will
to the
give
Black
you a
Panther
minute. I
soundtrack
was-
so we can
I'm
Bombay.
literally in the middle of changing it when all this shit was started happening. Give me 2 seconds, my goodness. So.
Can I, Jordan, just for comedic relief? Can I just have a chair? And specifically, hold on, I want to talk about this because I went and rolled the D20 just to see what I would get for stealth of just being able to leave and come back without being perceived. and I rolled a 24.
Okay. Hang on.
Can I sneak off somewhere, grab a chair that fits that description, and just have one?
Sure, Liara is clocking you, but yeah.
Blackstone, your workshop has a new purpose. You must make these chairs.
I think right at the time that Deodora would say that to me, I just appear with a chair in hand. Do you mean something like this?
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what I was looking for.
This is feeling like some Blues Clues shit of just like Steve.
How did you know what was inside? You can speak inside of my mind. You cheeky master. You motherfucker.
So Liara.
He doesn't mean it literally. He doesn't mean it literally.
Wait, do I have to explain all of that to Blackstone?
It's a thing.
Sarcasm, things of that nature.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Got it.
So yes, you can certainly spar against each other, or you can take on one of our creatures that we have as well. That's up to you, though.
Oh, this is kind of like the festival. That was so much fun.
But with this, now seeing that the group seemingly is all together, we've been kind of just purvied about the information that you got from the Unitel and what you've been going up against the society, so to speak. And she's kind of more so eyeing Blackstone and Tobi and Deodora at this moment with that. Assuming, are you going to continue to be looking into this, or are you kind of not wanting to continue?
Looking into what exactly?
What the society might be doing, helping out individuals that seem to be getting targeted, so to speak. Basically
The
helping
crystal bullshit that we found in the catacombs.
I like her.
Oh,
Yes,
I see.
exactly.
I don't
I
know.
don't think we have a choice, because if we let
multiple people
them-
will perish if we don't.
there's
Wait, was this about people
They-
perishing?
I tell them every event that's happened since episode 1, and then convince them to sub to our Patreon.
Give Dimples because I know it's been a little bit. You hear over the course of the conversation that there have been some odd crystals that have been popping up around Ampistrano that were found in Illipin, and that these crystals seemingly seem to steal people's soul and zap a thing called spirit energy, their power, basically who they are as a person. It started impacting Tobi at one point very negatively, causing a lot of self-doubt and kind of anger to come through. But they have been kind of wreaking havoc, and it's being caused by this group called the Ouroboros Society. They just took down and in fact are kind of resting from a massive battle that occurred not even a full day prior, where Deodora and at one point a comrade of theirs named Weldor went down. And, it was a very close call with Deodora almost not making it back. So they seemingly are very dangerous. There's now been disappearances that have been reported in Jorix as well. So seemingly this is spreading, whatever this is.
Where did this start at?
Their recollection is in Illipin, which is in, think of, because I know you'll probably get this reference, Dimples. Illipin's like the neck in terms of, Game of Thrones. If you control where Illipin is, you'll control the north kind of thing. It's in the very center of the map, and a lot of trade kind of goes through there.
Illipin is where one of my kids is studying.
have kids.
3 of them. They're all adults now.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
I think Deodora will turn to Liara and say, I think even if we chose not to look into it now, it's going to eventually impact us anyway.
Well, it is certainly impacting us now. And there's a pause as Blackstone ponders that Oria is not here. Well, it's impacting things in this world, but it's also impacting things in worlds beyond. I don't think it is something that is safe to disengage from, considering how much we know about it at this point, and for that matter, how much we're being involved. I feel that we might be the targets of several things, whether we wish to be or not, at this point.
They already know who we are, because we've made ourselves known to them.
Specifically at the end of a knife.
I killed one of them.
At the end of the knife, or, in an owlbear's mouth. Same difference.
Well, you always have a decision. That's why I wanted to ask. It would be rude of us to presume that this undertaking is going to be yours or not. But if you wish to be better prepared, you've come to the perfect place in order to train both physically as well as to tap into those spirit abilities a little bit more. We can help you assist with that, but ultimately your path is going to be up to you too in terms of what you're looking for.
Well, if you do not mind my asking, considering how close that particular catacomb was to where this place is, what did the people of Felk plan on doing?
That, I believe, is still being up for discussion. I know Geegan is meeting with the other elders tonight based upon the information that you've been given. The big thing is trying to not cause a panic. The last time words such as Ouroboros Society or crystals that impact souls happened, it was an insurmountable amount of damage that was done to Felk that we're still recovering from. So, as to an ultimate decision, I know at least, especially with Geegan, she's going to want to handle this. Not stand idly by.
But
Probably
you
speak
will...
to her. I have some information she might find useful.
Sure. I'm sorry, what was that?
To be clear, you will be telling the people what happened once you've come to a decision, right?
Yes. We believe in transparency here in Felk. It doesn't save anybody to hide that.
I suppose I would also want to know why nobody has checked on the Unitel in some time.
That would be honestly more of a question for Geegan. And it's not me dodging your question. I can see you're very perceptive with perhaps sensing the truth about things. That is more of a Geegan's role. We just haven't been able to go to certain areas of the Genora wetlands in a long time.
Might be something that needs to change moving forward.
I agree.
Because as my companion said, this happened pretty much right under your nose. And had been happening for decades.
I would agree. I do know that the Unitel, at least for many of us, holds some painful memories, so that might be one of those, but I cannot speculate as to why Geegan has said that we can't go there or otherwise. But I agree with you wholeheartedly, and you can see, like, there is genuine, behind her eyes, she looks very frustrated, but also is in total agreement with everything that you're saying.
Yeah. I honestly think that this exchange sort of sours Deodora even more on Geegan, just because, like, it, again, like, we had to go in there and clean up a mess that shouldn't have been there to begin with.
Sure.
So what the fuck? But she'll take it up with Geegan later.
Sure.
Do you have any way of, like, restoring spirit energy here?
In what way?
Well, I died.
I could tell that you're...
So I would like to get back to, like, baseline.
Sure. That is going to take some rest. Unfortunately, we can't just poof and, so to speak, give you that kind of spiritual energy just because it's emitting from you. But we can, through these practices, maybe it'll accelerate some of that a little bit more.
Oh, I was just looking for, like, a hyperbolic time chambers.
Yeah. Not there yet with our technology.
Not that easy to build you up, Buttercup.
Oh, well, I mean, they were giving out some soup that had some restorative properties a little bit ago at... Oh, right. I don't think you like that person particularly right now.
I don't know if that soup was necessarily for someone in my condition.
Well, it seems that all the people who were there were people who were in need of the restoring spiritual energy, in addition to other things.
But it seemed as if there's something more going on with them than just having their spirits depleted.
Well, Oh, wait. I have forgotten something very important. And I just, out of seemingly nowhere, produce like a teapot.
Oh, I forgot Wilder gave that to you.
Is Wilder gone?
He wanted to go back to Vibran to help them rebuild, to protect them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
After tending to a few things in the what seem to be the medical facilities here. But Theodora, as I understand it, you prefer to drink out of cups. I don't know if pouring the contents of this teapot directly into your mouth is in a... I don't think that's how that works.
Oh, I don't mind if you pour it directly in. I mean, I'm fine with not using a cup.
No. The captain has bottles and cups and things of that nature. It's not very hard to get your hands on these things. And you're on the sea. And out of the backpack comes a couple of clay cups. I want tea too if you're sharing.
Theodore, who's used to extremely roughing it without any sort of modern conveniences, is like, oh, okay. It's like,
so I pour some of the tea in the teapot and give Theodora some. Then well, Captain, are you in need of, I suppose, spiritual rejuvenation would be the best way to describe this.
Are you saying, by chance, your tea is alcoholic?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you said spirits, so...
Yeah, well, we just talked to you about the spirit energy stuff.
I swore we were talking about booze. I apologize.
No, it's fine. We can drink later.
For my confusion, that's on me.
Captain,
you take all of this.
Captain, why don't you go ahead and roll a spirit check for me, and for you it's a +2.
Okay.
Make a note that Captain has a preference for alcohol. They seem very excited about this.
That's a good die for him. Ooh, 21.
So, you've heard throughout your travels, you've heard some whisperings about spirit magic, spirit power. Some of it, could be alcohol. It's a little hard to kind of tell. But you do recall there was one instance where someone was shipwrecked and they ended up on your boat. And they were kind of in one of those fugue states where they didn't remember this the day after. But in a kind of shocked state that they were in, they kept talking about spiritual energy, spirit power, and feeling drained of it. And kind of a look of horror. Through your kind of journeys and now having been in Felk for a little bit too, regardless of whether you were able to find the Druid training grounds or not, you know that at this point, spirit power is essentially it's your soul. It's a measure of who you are. That can sometimes get a little bit smaller or can fluctuate based upon the circumstances that you're in. But it's a measure of you. It cannot be replicated. It's an added feature when you are casting spells or when you are fighting of who you are. So that's at least kind of the base information you would have.
He gets it, but also he was having a moment because he's been lost for a little while, and now he feels pretty silly for having that moment. So if you could see someone blush and sort of just like, so that's essentially what's happening with the captain right now. And Cribble is absolutely giving him a look like, you fucking
I think Deodora sees this and it's like, you know, it's okay. I think this is new for a lot of us. And I mean, honestly, if you want to get a drink later, we absolutely can.
I have so much back on my ship. I don't know when we're going to get back to my ship, but I have so much rum. So much.
Where
Do you remember
is
where your ship
ship?
is?
Yeah, where? Because it can't be here.
That's
You
a
have a
great
ship?
question. Where is the closest place that I could have docked to here, Jordan?
Jorix.
Jorix.
All the way
Oh, great.
across. Yep. It's
Back
it's
home,
support.
which I told you all is not my home. Because you thought it was evil, so the first thing out of my mouth was, nope, I'm not evil.
Nope.
We didn't think it was evil.
Oh, so-
No.
wait,
He didn't say
wait.
that out loud. It's
Yeah,
it's
okay.
back in Jorix.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Hmm.
Oh,
Less than ideal.
so you're an actual captain of a ship with everything, and
Yes.
you sail the seas and everything?
Yes. Used to be a naval captain for the armies, and now I'm on my own. I retired years and years back, had children, yada, yada, yada. Got the wanderlust again, and here I am.
Everyone feels like centering on Blackstone a really strong sense of concern.
Are you okay, Blackstone?
There's a dice roll inside this.
That is a flat 16 for deception.
Well, that means I'm rolling some
No.
insight, baby.
I'm just going to
My
say
passive
that for
insight
everybody.
is 16, so...
I was just like,
Oh, it's a flat 16, though. You add things to it.
yeah. Like mine is a flat 16. I don't have a modifier in deception because Blackstone is bad at lying.
Okay, so I have my
Oh.
passive insight is 16, so like I think I just know immediately.
It's just like
It's not that Blackstone has a regular, like, a heartbeat or anything, but you hear ever so slightly in the vibrations, Deodora, there is a little bit of a spark of energy coming from Blackstone's direction that is a little nervous, if anything.
I literally hear the gears turning in his head as he tries to come up with a lie.
You good,
like,
mate?
what he says, I'm sure things will be fine.
What do you mean by that?
Which of the training courses did we want to take inside of the Druid Circle?
Okay, you're deflecting, and that's fine, but we are going to come back to this later. I hope you know that. I'm
I
not going
don't
to
think
forget.
I know you well enough to be prying, so I'll let you do your thing.
I know you well enough to pry, and I will be prying later.
Well, that sounds like a friendly group.
Theodora, please do not employ the use of a crowbar upon my person.
Oh, no. I mean, I'm just going to keep asking you questions. because I want you to tell me the truth and not deflect from me asking you what's going on.
That is understandable.
But I would never take a crowbar to you.
Thank you. It is very uncomfortable.
Wait, this happened to you before?
Well, stranger things have happened, I suppose.
Do you all
your
get
definition of
into a bunch of shit where you get, well, the shit kicked out of you?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I did just die like a day ago.
Excuse me. Wait.
The person standing here guarded the gate just said this.
It just sort of like, I was unclear if that was like a
This is
metaphorical dying or an actual dying.
No,
And Cripple's
I
like, oh,
died.
yeah, people like us can bring them back, so it happens. Death,
I
then
met
rebirth.
I met the lady of the veil. I died. Yeah. And then Waldor brought me back with my friend's help.
At the very least, your reaction is very congruent with every other living being I've run into so far who talks about death, which is very complex feelings and a lot of confusion.
I mean, in my experience, most people that have died don't get to come back.
Maybe they just didn't have the right friends around them.
Yeah.
People who had that skill.
I suppose.
No, I think that most people
not to return.
Most people just die, and then there's nobody there to bring them back, and so.
No, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Got it. It doesn't have to be friends, just so you know. Like.
I think maybe it's
with
better
enough
if it's a
money,
friend.
everyone's your friend.
Oh, that's interesting.
I need to collect this input, so if I'm understanding correctly, if I collect enough gold coins over the course of my lifetime, I would have no enemies? Is that correct?
No.
No, that's not correct. No.
I mean, you can buy your enemies and make them your friends, so.
But any people who could be
In
bought
theory.
people who can be bought could also, be bought for a higher price than what you're offering, and so
Yes.
it'd just be a constant thing of you having to pay people to be your friend and like for them to not betray you. And it might just be easier to just make friends in the normal way.
This is why I decided not to become a mercenary.
I was just looking from Theodora to the captain to Blackstone.
Liara's just sipping her tea, just watching this all happen.
Also,
Cribble is just.
I've never had to buy my friends.
Neither have I. I'm
I've
saying
never heard that.
that I know it happens.
I have learned that some ways of making friends are probably not a good idea. For example, one of the first friends that I made from stealing something from them, and then having to return it.
I casted a spell to make someone my friend before.
So, I suppose, by that definition, perhaps, based on the experiences that I have so far, I can either choose to be in mortal danger, unfailingly kind, or, I suppose, break the law as far as in relation to you goes, in order to become friends. Choices, I suppose. Tobi,
Okay, no los
Theodora?
tres.
Yes.
Well, I have already promised the captain that I will not be doing violence to them unless it is previously announced. However, should I rob them?
No.
No, wait a minute. No. No?
I don't think that'd be a very good idea. I'm just saying, me and the captain are pretty close, and we would hate to have to open you up with a crowbar.
Now, I think Theodora looks at Kerbal like, I will eat you.
Cribble's pretty tiny. He's only
you
about
see
a foot
her-
and a half.
Theodora's not that big either, but like as she like turns to give you that give Gribble rather that watch yourself look, you see her like her eyes flash and like she sort of starts to shift into something else a little bit.
Cribble, you can tell you didn't mean anything by it, but like, it was like, don't threaten my captain. More of that sort of thing.
Okay, so please don't
Okay.
threaten our friend too.
Also, well,
Listen.
hold on. Who is threatening whom?
I don't know. That's
Well,
something.
I thought you were potentially considering robbing me, and that's a bad idea because I'm here to be your friend. I just offered to have you use my ship, so I think that would be an
Weird.
escalation in a way that would not be conducive to our ongoing relationship.
Oh, okay. So of the options that I currently have, whether purchasing friends, putting friends in mortal danger, or robbing friends, you prefer not to be robbed or put in mortal danger. Well, I guess
Correct.
that leaves either being unfailingly kind or purchasing. Do you have a purchasing price?
Why don't we start with the kindness first?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's ideal. At least in my situation. Later on, we'd probably find some friends that we could purchase.
Okay. So, of the many options that there are for making friends, the captain prefers being polite.
I think Blackstone.
I'm not particularly scared about
Understanding-
mortal danger. I'm just saying it's
Yeah.
fine. Happens.
Blackstone, understanding that you met Cal by stealing from him, and then you guys became friends after that. Not everybody likes that, and most people prefer kindness first.
This seems reasonable, and it usually involves relatively speaking, the least amount of effort. Acquiring money is somewhat difficult
Yes.
for
Captain?
most people.
Yes, Toby.
Can I call you Captain, or is that the thing?
My crew calls me Captain Tyborn.
Captain type. Is there any possibility that you can take me on a sailing mission someday so I can see the sea?
You just see Cribble just like pulling out the captain's coat. Just, what? Crawls up shoulder, whispers in my ear. Cribble says yes, but you have to teach him Druid magic.
Oh, right on. I can absolutely do that.
Deal. You seem capable.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think every time Cribble crawls down from Draven's shoulders, Sparky is there to like give him like a sniff, like just sort of just exploratory, like.
By the way, what do you look like, Captain?
man.
I will
Older.
drop my image in our chat. That's the
Okay.
easiest way to do this. But he is very tall, and he is a Triton. And
Okay. But you're super tall
Wait,
person.
how tall is
6'4".
Draven? Oh, so just eye to eye with Aurea, I think. And then the rest of us are just Toby and I
Okay.
are just like.
Yeah, he's a tall dude.
Liara, I think that's your name, yes. Do you have weapons or armor available that we could use?
So the way that we kind of do things here is either go by the armor that you have and the weapons that you have, or the kind of weapons adjacent that we use here, depending again upon what you're trying to do. If this is you're trying to more so strengthen up your abilities for regular kind of training and such, then your swords and your armor is fine. But if you're trying to do stuff with spirit magic and your spirit capabilities, that's going to be something different. And she kind of gestures, and you see kind of standing further behind, and by further, much further back, by that like large trunk that's been kind of cut off, you see in the distance coming out of the black door several kind of beat up individuals that are carrying like what appears to be a small stick that is kind of wrecked. Deodora, you would know this from kind of training at Allegris. This is like what their equivalent is of training. Instead of having like the wooden swords, they just have sticks instead for sparring.
They go and pick a switch off the tree to beat somebody's ass with.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. And then I just kind of look at Deodora and go, I'm not sure that this is a good idea right now, as you have your armor in the shop still.
Oh. You might be right. I wasn't sure. I mean, it's just a stick.
I suppose for the sake of science, we can do it anyway.
I have an extra set of chainmail if you wanted to wear that or something.
Oh, sure. Thank you. That's what I have usually.
Might be a little big for you, just you're and not.
I'm smaller than you, yes, I'm aware.
You can clip some links. I don't know. Here.
I put them on and I look like I'm wearing my dad's clothes.
Would you mind if I train with you? Because I want to test out my new abilities. Our new abilities, actually. Polita has learned some things too.
Well, if you're all down to perhaps training together, we can certainly get one of the crystals to work, and you all can.
Crystals?
Yes. So we use. Sorry, it's raining a storm over here. We use.
I know.
Yep, I know you know, Prince. So we use something that actually some of the fairies have passed on. You can keep certain creatures inside of crystals. There's special ones that we use to kind of keep hold of them, and then when needed for training purposes, they can come on out. Kind of way to train, so to speak. So you would just need to use sticks instead of, you know, regular swords and such, but it will be a great way for you to expand your horizons with using spirit magic, your regular abilities, or anything else that you wish to test at this time. We feel that that might be the most, and you see at this moment when she's saying we, she's looking at the other two druids. We feel that this may be the best source in terms of kind of preparing you for what lies ahead, as you all get more attuned to yourself, possibly seeing that yes, spirit magic can be used for healing, but it can also be used as a shield and a weapon of sorts. But it is unique to each of you, so you'll have to figure out what that means.
Sounds like fun to me.
We can teach him what we can do, Captain. Yes, I suppose we could.
Well,
All
are
right,
you ready?
I'm just... Yeah.
I go to the nearest tree and pick a switch off it.
Just break it. And she will usher all of you down the kind of stoned road towards the trunk of the tree. And you all find yourselves, the door opening and entering into this completely darkened room. It's massive. You can, those of you with dark vision can tell that it's very large. And before you, you see there's an assortment of small crystals, different than the crystals you've been encountering with over the last few weeks, where there's been soul energy stolen from them. These are almost like shards of glass with colorations in them, and it's almost like there's either live elements in them, like water moving or fire. You can see there are crystals that are red and auburn, some that look like a deep purple with touches of pink in it, that are floating before you. So, you hear Liara's voice, as Liara and the rest of the druids did not follow you in here, but are seemingly keeping watch over what you all are about to be doing next. You'll see before you there's about 7 crystals. Choose carefully, and a creature will appear. And you all, well, will do your thing, so to speak. We'll be out here keeping an eye on the situation, and if it looks like it's getting too out of hand, we'll step in. But
A dragon.
Are there?
You happy? Something? No?
No more dragons. Well, definitely no dragons.
I've just never seen a dragon. But...
Like there's just like this slow turn toward Tobi because I think
Yeah,
even
I think-
Blackstone knows how dangerous they are.
I think
That is
everybody
not-
just looks to Toby like,
It's just like that is not a good science. That is a very bad science.
Can I like approach? So do we have to touch the crystals in order to bring the? Okay, just making sure. I don't know how you guys want to play it. I would like to approach each crystal and maybe like try to like sniff to see if I can get a sense of like elements or something coming off of them, so I have some idea of what creature might come out.
I mean, some people sniff crystals and they end
Oh
up
my
addicted to them
God.
forever.
I'm leaving. April, girl, you're on your own when you
okay, so you would like to sniff.
Actually,
Yes.
how many crystals are there, Jordan?
There are 7, but let me do Deodora's thing first, and then I will check in with you, Blackstone. So yes, you can. Deodora, you can roll an investigation check, obviously with advantage because I'm assuming Sparky is with you, and
okay, let's hope for
you can add your spirit check roll to it as well.
Can we
Which is
give
plus
like
2?
double advantage while I help?
Yours is plus 3,
Double advantage.
Deodora.
Oh, it's plus 3. I thought it was plus 2.
Yours went up recently.
Oh.
Yeah, you have a plus 3.
Okay, I think I have a plus 0 to investigation. Let me see.
I have a
plus
thing,
1.
but
Interesting.
I will wait until Farrah's done.
So that's a 22.
Okay.
No, sorry, that is a 23. I know how to do math.
Math is hard, yo. It's fine. All right. Was there a specific crystal that caught your eye of the colors that I kind of?
Can you tell the colors again?
Yes. There's like a purple with touches of pink in it. There is an auburn. There's a red. There's a green like sea foam. There's a brown. There's a black, and there's a gray.
Is the brown like an earthy sort of brown?
Yes.
Then I think Deodora would want to go with that one.
Okay. So with a 23, you can tell from that it's hard to pinpoint the exact creature. You get elements of it. This is one that does make their home deep within the earth. That you may or may not have encountered before.
Fucking sand crab. Fucking sand crab.
You may or may not have contacted with before.
Well, I can't say for certain what this one is, but I think I've encountered it before.
Is it dangerous?
I mean, all things can be dangerous.
Is her name Sheila?
I don't know who
She's
that
the
is.
motherfucking crab goddess.
A crab.
I'm sorry. That's one for fair
Had to
right
bring it
there.
back. Had to bring it back. Big motherfucking crab checkers. Okay. Shout outs. Our Juneteenth one shot. That was
Lord.
sorry.
You're good.
Deodora's like, I don't know who that is. It doesn't feel like a Sheila though. Feels like a grandmommy.
Yeah. I'm like, can I? So if you want to do that, we can absolutely try it against that. I don't think we're gonna get super hurt.
I don't think so either.
Well,
If
your
it's
call.
what I think it is, it wasn't It wasn't easy to defeat it, but it's not impossible either. And I was unskilled back then.
Blackstone, what was it that you wanted to do?
Oh, I was going to say, if you had a list of them, I was just going to roll a number and be like, that crystal.
You were just gonna touch it?
I was going to
I mean,
go and
you still
investigate
can.
that. Go and investigate the crystal.
Let's be very careful about what we're doing here. We want to make sure we spread out, have good views of all of the rooms so we don't get flanked by whatever creatures might come out of these stones.
Well, if it helps for the sake of my specifications, one of the functions that I have is investigating things. It helps me with science.
I know tactics is what I do.
I thought you were a sea captain.
Yes, and in order to be able to properly plan when you're on a ship, things of that nature, you need to know where your enemies are and how to make sure you can take them out in the easiest way possible.
Oh, okay. I think they're in the crystals, if that helps.
That's also what I. Well, I think he means on the once they're on the battlefield.
Correct.
Which is what I learned in Allegris.
Also a tactician. Interesting.
Yes.
That is a 15 on investigation for whatever crystal number 6 would be.
Okay, that would be the seafoam green one.
That's the one that Draven keeps looking at, too.
Yep.
So I just slowly make my way over to the crystal and kind of
Just hovers in the air in front of you.
Robo.
I gently put a finger to it.
I am
Okay,
with my people here.
Let me just roll for
See how
initiative
it
right
res-
now.
and-
because-
Okay.
And I just gently check the crystal in the same way. Blackstone investigates things by giving them gentle touches and or pouring spirit energy into them. That's just how they sense things. So
Sure.
that is a thing.
The rest of you hear this glass clinking as Blackstone's kind of armored hand touches the
Cripple
floating
jumps off my shoulder.
crystal in front of them, and immediately there's this shot of white expanding in the cavern before you, and you can see the crystal itself smashing into pieces, and from it you can see a body starting to form. You see this long kind of torso, skinny in length, starting to expand upward around you, as that is where we're gonna pick up next week.
No.
Yep, we're getting a little close, and I've been keeping y'all a little bit late, so I'm trying to be good about getting this out on time.
Counterpoint: we want to be kept late.
Valid. Totally valid. But no, we'll catch up next week. But if you all want to roll initiative and then send that to me, you totally can. I will allow that, and we'll go live with that next week.
Jail.
No, I'm gonna make you wait for my initiative for a week, just like you finna make me wait.
Okay.
So you can play that game.
I'm not gonna be pressed about it.
Hey.
It's fine. Oh, and Duval's casting Bless from afar.
Aww. We feel it.
Motherfucker, you should be here.
It smells like Earl Grey.
Mm-hmm. Well, y'all, welcome back. Robo, we've missed you, and Dimples, welcome to Ampistrano. This is gonna be a wild ride. Amazing. We're gonna go around and say who we are, who we've been, and where you can find us, and then we'll head out of here. I think I saw, let's see, Cypher went live, so we'll head over there. But let's start with Dimples.
Oh shit. Hi. I'm Dimples and Dice, otherwise known as Prince, otherwise known as Amir. I am on the internet as Dimples and Dice. I am a he, him. I do tabletop stuff. You can find me on Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time doing Wayward Revelry. It's a D&D 5e campaign based on Wild Beyond the Witchlight. We are in going to our final area in this game. they found out who Tasha was, and that was a fucking doozy for the crew. So now they have hit the everybody's about to find out part, either them or the hags. So it's gonna be great. You can also find me over on Laugh Love Lindy's channels on Wednesday night, playing a Call of Cthulhu campaign called Below the Land of Fire. This is my first time playing Call of Cthulhu. It's great. I'm enjoying it so far, and I imagine that it's going to be terrible, and I won't be enjoying it in the next few weeks. And then keep an eye out on Rolling These 20s. We working on something. We're working on a little something. I know I said this before, but for real, I got.
Yeah, we mean it this time.
I mean it this time. I have a little bit of time. I have a little bit of effort, and we want to get back into the world of darkness.
Yes. Hell yeah. We'll jump over to Sin.
Hi, I am your resident dewy sunflower person,
Lord.
Moisia. Player, producer, all of those things. And also, like your very friendly robot, Moiststone, who is very curious about things and asks so many questions. And was only investigating and should not have ran into initiative. I would like a court order. This is an actual crime.
I did say touch one of them. I did say touch. I made sure
did
to
say
say that.
And I had asked too. I was like, if I touch this, will this unleash the creatures?
Yep.
So I'm not going to touch it. So
I
it was at the top of the syllabus. Normally I'm on your side, but this time I can't be because it was like we made sure we asked a couple times, honey. You should have read the syllabus.
But also you can find me on social media where social media can be found, mostly by the same name, except on Twitter.
That's valid. Robo, we're so happy you were able to jump in.
Yeah.
Me, Robo Goblin. You can find me everywhere at TTRPGifts. My pronouns are any all. And I've been Tobi Moist de Azul. And his pronouns are he, him. And it's storming like hell outside. So thank you for being patient with me as I went through what I went through. So thank you so much, everybody. It was awesome to play with you.
Always a joy to have you, Robo. And last but certainly not least, Fair.
Hi, I'm Fair. I have been Dampador Harboy's son. Sorry. You can follow me on socials at Fairbear. Besides being here, you can also hear my voice on Taking Initiative Season 3, Sword and She. It's a Pathfinder 2E campaign. I did not mean for all of that to rhyme. That was a lot. And then, as Amir said earlier, keep an eye on Rolling These 20s because what we are going to be doing is going to be sick as fuck. I already know like what I want to be. So, and it was the first one that I saw, and I was like, "Yep, that's it. I'm done."
Oh yay! I'm so excited.
It was so good. Amazing. Thank you so much, Fair. Sid, I literally said if you touch it.
Hey! You're paying attention. You're paying attention to the chat. You're supposed to be doing announcements.
Yeah, I'm also running production, so I can see you being all. I want Jordan in jail. Listen, power. But I have been your storyteller and your producer today. D&D Jordan Lee, she, her, they. I am getting ready to move and gonna be streaming a lot more on the channel once that happens, so I'm super excited for that. But you can usually find me lurking, watching all of these phenomenal people doing things on their channels or other channels. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. Also, stay tuned because we're gonna be coming out with announcements about our next games for change in the next few weeks. So, God damn it, Dimples.
Oh wait, there is the one more announcement before I forget about it. If you
Yes.
haven't yet and you haven't considered it, just slide on over to your web browser address bar, type in kofi.com/D&D Jordan Lee right now for like that quick, like 10% off of jail time for me. Right? Sign the petition, go to the Patreon, get the familiar one shot, so that in addition to everyone else, we can also have the Abbot.
I also did the foolish thing of promising to DM a one shot if we got to a certain number on Patreon. So I guess if you hate me, you can also subscribe.
We're 8
to
away.
So like I'm just saying you could get yourself a session with DM Dora Shadesun if you wanted to do that.
Just saying. There's a lot of goodies in our Patreon, as well as, like I said, we might have a new logo next week, so we might have some new things. And I was messaging April a little bit ago about when April will be coming back, so things are happening, y'all. But we're gonna get out of here.
Might be earlier than we thought, because she popped the stream today. I was not happy about what's happening.
Yep. That's listen. It's fine. But we're gonna get out of here, y'all. Stay tuned because we are going to go ahead and raid Cypher, who is live at playing Baldur's Gate. Please be respectful. Please don't spoil anything. I can't tell you how many times I've had to tell people while modding, please don't spoil.
Backseating,
No backseating.
because I will ban your ass.
Don't do
I'm
it.
telling you right now.
I also will ban your ass, but first I will let Sonya tear you a new one in 4K and then ban you.
But
so
yeah,
you have to hear it.
We got facts on facts on facts.
Just be respectful. Enjoy the ride. You know what? Just enjoy the ride. But we are going to get out of here. We'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.